Mel Harris, Garbagemanpiper, and we're gonna chooch a cigar. This is one I got from Smoke Swag, Le Bijou. It's a My Father cigar. Don't tell gay. All right, we are lit and rocking. Sorry, need to put my feet up, get situated here. All right, so basically, the reason why I said don't tell gay is because I'm in the workshop chooching a pipe. You can hear the fan going. But if she comes out, the story is I'm testing out the new rabbit filtration, air filtration system I got. It's in the it's actually through the door and in the backstage on the other side of this wall. So I'm using the book, Cigars Daily Review. Again, a book put together by, sorry, losing stuff. Book put together by Tim at Cigars Daily. And I've already put the labels on. For a little old cigar, I sure spend some money on labels. So we have already got, in presentation, I already finished presentation. The wrapper, which I had here, I just threw away, was fine. 4 out of 5. The band was over the top. I gave it a 4 out of 4. Firmness of the cigar, I would say almost Goldilocks, 3 out of 3. And oils, much better. Excuse me, much better than last week's warped cigar. Much better. I gotta turn this around, see how I can do my mug. All right, I think I got those from Candy's. The lady does the mugs. So oil's got a 3. So in presentation, this cigar gets a 14 out of 15. Not a bad start. As far as the light goes, nice job on the light. Lit right up, not a problem. Toasted it, boom, not an issue. As far as the burn, we'll see how that goes. The draw, not bad. We're only in the first third, and I break these up into, I break these up into 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Those are the thirds. So I'll basically rate not so much the light, but the burn and the draw throughout in thirds. And then you've got consistency, flavor, all of those. I'll rate all of these through the thirds. So with that, I'm gonna get to chooching, and I'll see you guys at the turn of the second third. Okay, so we're into the second third. The first third burned right at 30 minutes. And again, this is all part of learning how to smoke a cigar. I'm actually using my cigar stand from Brendan, the Blue Line Piper, and I'm actually trying to set the cigar down between smokes. They said ideally between 30 seconds to a minute between puffs. This is burning very uneven. I evened it up just before it dropped off. You can see. But just a few notes. I went on Cigar Aficionado. It's one of the things I like to do in the first third and just kind of read about the cigar a little bit. It is 100% Nicaraguan. The wrapper, the binder, the filler, all Nicaraguan. It is the size that's in my wheelhouse, right at 50 ring gauge, and a Robusto. Some of the notes that they got out of it was a sweetness, some dried fruit, toffee, licorice. I'm getting more of a savory flavor, which is what I like in a cigar. I like that kind of almost a saltiness. I'm picking up more licorice than anything in it. Little bit of pepper, not much, but that's due to my retrohale. Cigar Aficionado rated this an 89. So it's got a good start. The burn, it's taking hits on the burn. I don't know if you can see, you really can't see, the smoke is blowing this way. Well, I've got a fan here. I got the door open in the back. The garage is cracked. I don't know that I can blame the cigar for the burn. But they say it says a lot about the way it was wrapped and the quality of the tobacco. But ever since I corrected it, it seems to be doing better. It's going to take some hits on the burn, though. Probably going to give it a 5 on the first third for the burn. It is what it is. Setting it down and rotating it as I set it down helped it burn a little bit more evenly. As far as some of the smoothness, it's definitely an improvement on last week's cigar. That retro hell flavor that I look for. Andrew Sorigliano smoked one of these over the weekend and really enjoyed it. And I got this one just last Wednesday or Thursday, which I've got a Yabo to do, and I've got to combine 2 Yabos. But one of those Yabos is him giving me this, so that's a good thing. But as far as the size, I like the Robusto. I like that 50 ring gauge. Like I said, I like that. I like the ash to hang tight up through that third. So at this point, we're just going to continue to chooch it into the second third, and I'll be back. Okay, whoa, sorry about that. We are in the home stretch. The ash held on to this one, but you can see how gnarly the ash burned as far as how evenly it burned. It's better than the first third was. We're in the second third, just finishing up the second third. And so I picked it up and picked up my cadence a little bit more. I found that I was having to puff it back into life. So again, it's finding that sweet spot in cadence for me. Setting the cigar down does not work. So I've got to just find that cadence about every 30 30 to 40 seconds a puff. Um, and I've been fighting a nick hit through this whole thing. I failed to mention this is a medium to full cigar, which is a little bit higher than my wheelhouse. Medium is about where I like to go. But you find some of these Maduros that will smoke, not when I say Maduro, I always think a heavier nick hit. But you find those Maduros out there that will smoke about a medium, and those are the ones I'm looking for. So again, learning about what I'm looking for, and that's what this is about. It is about finding that sweet spot cigar. Again, now we're in the final third. I did close out smoking characteristics. I gave it an 18 out of 23. 5 for 5 on the light. I gave it a 5 for 10 on the burn. Again, my cadence could very well have something to do with that. I gave it an 8 out of 8 for the draw. The draw stayed consistent. Cigar didn't get mushy. But I definitely fought this cigar. I'm on my 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 5th one. And this is just chocolate and caramel. Yeah, it's probably going to affect the flavors somewhat, but I'm pulling the flavors through my retrohale, not through my mouth, even though I'm getting this, I say that, but that I'm getting the savory notes from my mouth. So we finished up that. As far as consistency goes, there's just a nice, I guess you could call it a licorice, but it's not strong. It's that licorice savory note that I'm looking for and that I picked out, that I want to see if I can hold that throughout the cigar. So I gave it a 9 on the first third, a 9 on the second third. It'll probably hold through the last third. As far as flavors, that was flavors. As far as consistency, flavors, same. Smoothness, smooth smoking cigar. Just a really nice, smooth cigar. So I'm giving it an 8 for smoothness. In the Cigar Aficionado, they rated this cigar an 89. I'm going to be close to that. One of the reviewers mentioned that last third, got a little hot and charry. So it wouldn't doubt, I mean, for me, that usually happens on the third. So we'll just see how the flavors pan out and the overall impression. And then when we finish up, I'll have a rating for you. Stay tuned. Okay, let's finish this bad boy up. Well, as usual, I didn't make it halfway through, or even hardly through the beginning of the second third. It went out on me. Nick-wise, I was done anyways. Let's just see how it went. As far as overall impression, I gave it a 31 out of 36. Quality of the blend, I 9'd it all the way across. It was a 9 out of 12. Flavor progression, stayed pretty consistent. It may have dropped off closer into the third. I didn't get there. So I put a 7 out of 8 on flavor progression. And as far as the finish, I gave it a 5 out of 6. Speed of the burn, I gave it a 5 of 5. Consistency was easily 30 to about 30 minutes on the average per third. As far as the price goes, this was probably going to range between $6 and $7. For me, it was a 5 or 5 because Smoke Swag hooked me up. Class, thank you. The overall rating for this was an 86 for me. Again, I don't usually delve into this much of a Nick cigar. Again, I don't smoke heavier cigars, so I'm going to fight that. Cigars Aficionado gave it an 89. I did my best with it. I think there's only one cigar so far that I've given over a 90, and I bought a box of those. So I guess the question I like to ask myself at the end of one of these reviews is, would I buy a box of these cigars? For me, it's a no. Not that it's a bad cigar, it's just not my go-to cigar. So that is kind of how I ultimately, this is what I ultimately learn about this cigar. Now here's the beautiful thing. A lot of it is the Nick hit as well, because I fought it throughout the whole thing. But the nice thing about all of these notes, and you can see this page, I note the heck out of it. Now, do I do this? Will I do this the next time I smoke this cigar? No. I'll probably enjoy it a lot more. There's a lot of details that you got to pay attention to. So the beautiful thing about having this first impression or rating of a cigar is, let's say in 2 months, 3 months, I smoke this cigar again, I can go back to this and I can say, you know what? Is that a cigar I would buy at that point? Maybe through these reviews, my nicotine levels climb and I'm able to enjoy this cigar less without the candy, without the chocolate. But my takeaways from this is, yes, I like 50 ring or above. The price is where I think it should be for this cigar, between $6 and $7. I liked the note that I picked out and that I followed throughout the cigar. It was consistent. I know when I'm looking for that, I know what cigar to go to. So that being said, no reason to draw this baby out any longer than I have. Mel Harris, Garbagemanpiper, rating of my father's Le Bijou 1922. And again, I want to thank Smoke Swag, my bro Glass, for allowing me to do this review. You all be safe in there.